Mo. How are you?
Good on you. I'm
Good,
great.
not too bad. So, I'm going to do a slight little introduction as to what we are doing here.
Mhm.
So, first of all, I've got to say I'm really excited that you're joining us today. And for everybody who's watching us, this is Mohammed El Gadawy, aka Mo. Um, and the reason that we're having you here with us, Mohammed, today is because you are a sports, health, fitness, and well being expert with over 20 years' experience in this field. In this session, what we're trying to do is get you to share with us some insights from the experience that you have, from the various ways in which sports and fitness can be this powerful tool that can enrich our lives, and the various different ways in which sports and being active can improve our overall health and well being. And also to talk to us, maybe from your experience and insight, about any scientific sort of evidence that we keep hearing about behind the ways in which sports can directly impact on our individual performance, how can it can optimize our efficiency so that we can become overall successful as individuals and be able to reach our goals and ambitions. So we may not be able to cover everything we want to talk about today. This is a massive, huge field. But what we want to do with you is to have regular conversations so that we can start unpacking this interesting field that is foreign to us, certainly most of us Sudanese people, and then just getting your guidance and support through this exciting journey. So, if I may start, Mo, by asking you maybe to tell us a little bit more about yourself.
First of all, I want to say that thank you for having me here. I'm very excited to be here on the show. Well, to talk about me, well, let's talk about first about my journey. Well, through my life, I've always focused into promoting healthy lifestyle for individuals, depending whatever their background is or their age. And my goal was to unlock their true potential by enhancing their physical and mental health through strength, balance, and movement training, of course. So I work a lot on the mental as well. I started by first having a diploma of osteopathy. So and then I'm first a doctor, then I mean, a therapist, and then as well, I decided to become a personal trainer to know more about the field and be able to have a complete form. Then after I went to Asia and I started to trade and learn more about Chinese chiropractic, acupressure. So I was always wanting to learn more how to help, how to heal, to fix, to be able to not have any problem for anyone to go out there and do whatever they want with their body. So that was my main goal for the past years, and that's what I worked on.
So Mo, you mentioned osteopathy. For
Yes.
people like me, what is that in like simple terms?
Well, in simple terms, basically, osteopathy is a lot similar to chiropractic. The
Mhm.
only difference is that we treat the muscle before creating the release of the bone popping. So a
Mhm.
lot chiropractic will just take you in the session and just crack your bone, while we first prepare the body, prepare the muscle, relax the muscle, stretch it, maybe massage it a bit, and then uh, get the popping and the release. Like it's a more of a gentle method rather than chiropractic.
Okay.
But it's a result.
So, and then I'm curious, Mo. So, how did you get into sports? Into
I
this
was
field?
always I was always fascinated by sports when I was a kid, and for me, it was this potential, this unlimited potential that the human have to
Hmm.
have the ability to do whatever they want. I mean, you have a mountain, and someone would come and say, "Oh, I climbed it because it was here, because I needed to climb, I needed to prove it," and the ability to do something, to achieve something. At the end of the day, our body, like our physical capacity, cannot be bored, but or you cannot buy it, you cannot rent it, you cannot borrow it. You have to earn it. So it shows real work. It shows real dedication.
Mm-hmm. And so, besides osteopathy and general fitness coaching, etc., are there any other areas of sports where you dabble?
Well, I used to be a pro fighter before as well in
Mm-hmm.
my career. So I participated to the Olympic of boxing in
Mm-hmm.
Egypt. I fought in mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that was for my active career. Yes.
Wow.
At that time as well, I'm a fan of climbing. I'm a fan of yoga, movement, calisthenics, and all of those things. For me, it's every type of sport have something to teach me,
Mm-hmm.
something that I can get from it.
Mm-hmm. So as soon as you said that, the type of sports that you did, that immediately makes me think you must have some seriously strong mental ability and mental focus to be able to perfect those areas, to be that
Yes,
proficient.
yes. Yes, but I will not tell you. So I will not lie to you. I am as normal as it is as well. I had my downfalls as well. I had my periods where I was not good as well. It's just about finding a way. I mean, I people don't believe it when I told them that at a certain point of my life, yes, I used to be 110 kg and I used to be very fat and unhealthy. What I'm trying to say is we are humans. We're not made for perfection. But we have the potential to get better. So even I had my own struggle. We are humans, and we all have our own struggle. The goal is not to let them take the best out of us, but it's to keep pushing and keep going, and
Mm-hmm.
then along the way it gets better.
So I heard something I'm watching, and I don't know if you've seen this. There's a documentary on Netflix about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. Have you
Mhm.
seen that? Yeah.
I've heard about it. I'm still gonna see it. Yes, but
Yes.
I've heard about that how strong it is.
Yes. So one of the things that, and I found that a really interesting statement. He mentioned that, or I think it was his dad who said the reason he got his kids into sports is to make them more successful in life. And I thought that's a really interesting concept. So,
It's understandable. I mean, when you put a kid into sport, it teaches them competitivity. It teaches them to push themselves. It teaches them. I mean, it teaches many things. When
mhm,
you're competing as a kid and doing some sport, when you lose, you learn something. When you win, you learn something else.
mhm,
But as well, the competitive mindset of not giving up till the last minute. Take,
mhm,
for example, a soccer game. Even if it's the last 10 minutes, nobody's going to stop playing. They
mhm,
will keep going and going. And that teaches kids at such an early age
mhm,
with a game. Maybe it's just a game,
mhm,
but for them, even if it's just a game, it teaches them to keep going till the end and not
mhm,
giving up.
mhm,
So it's very much related to being successful. If you put it on the same page, it is,
mhm.
right?
That's an interesting statement you make because I was talking to my brother about this, and he used to play basketball for school. He was the basketball captain. And my brother told me that fast forward to today, and he is far from those young years at school. He said to me he's still in his life and work implement strategies that he learned on the basketball court. He,
Of
and
course.
and it is to do. He said, in a game, you know that you cannot stop until that final whistle goes. So he said, and that teaches you something that you can't quit, and you always strive to to do better.
It's understandable. Like a lot of people, and I don't know why they pay so much less attention to sport. They take it like it's a game, it's a video game, which is not, it's really not. There is some wisdom into every type of sports, and you will meet them when you meet the people at the top of their sports. For example, when they're in the Olympics, they're not stupid. They're not people that just like were lucky and just were all brawn and muscle. They were determined. They saw it. They didn't give up despite all the physical pain or any type of pain. I mean, can you imagine? A lot of people give up from physical pain, right? Just giving
Mhm.
up. So imagine you not giving up from any type of physical pain that is your muscle screaming just because you want something. Now imagine if you're at work.
Mm-hmm.
How much will you endure to get that position, that like that promotion that you're looking for, or that when you work on your business, how hard you're gonna work? You're gonna be willing to take from the pain. So I believe the two are very much related, and that's why sports put you on the edge where it's so stressful and critical choices that you need. It relies on a lot of skills, making choices, fast choices under stress, teamwork, leadership as well. When you're a captain, you told me your brother was a captain, so leadership, all of those things, it teaches you skills. It's
So,
to
there you go.
sorry, go ahead. It's important to be able to work as a team and to be able to manage a team as well as a team leader in a company, in any type of company, even in a society.
Okay, so I think what you're telling me here is some of I had a question, and my question was, why do you think it's good for people to be active? And I think you're starting to give us a window into that. So.
Uh, why is it good for people to be active? It's good for many things. I mean, uh, being active has been shown by science that it lowered the risk of diabetes type 2, cholesterol, any type of cardiovascular disease. But not only that, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we're talking about health joints, spine joint, strength. I mean, science has proven that physically we're losing 10% of our strength genetically every. So basically, every year by the age of 21, we start to grow weaker and weaker and weaker. We lose 10% every year. So that's why when we age, we grow older. A lot of people took that law of we're getting old as it is normal to grow weaker. No, it is not. As I've seen a lot of people that are 70 that still do their routine and still are strong and still are able to lift weights and run and do a lot of things. So I don't want to be trapped in my own body. I don't want to be at 50-year-old struggling in my own body. This is going to become pain, right? This is going to become a struggle. So why is it healthy? It's healthy for a lot of things. So that's just the physical part. Brain-wise, let's talk about your mental, being as well self-confident, promoting as well engagement with people. Not only that, it's been proven that, for example, science has proven that just dancing reverse brain aging. So can you imagine brain aging just because of the movement of the pattern? I mean, dancing is not a difficult exercise; it's just moving. But because of the coordination, it reverses brain aging. So having just moving around, moving in a complex way or moving around and creating something with your body has to create around 100,000 new neural connection. While when you read the book, it's 1,000 new neural connection. This is so much like less. You know, your brain is actively getting like growing. It's a muscle. So health-wise, cardiovascular, diet-wise, muscle-wise, bone-wise, there's a lot of factors for to be active. Of course, it's gonna take a lot to talk about all of them.
So I want to focus on two things you've just said. So I'm clear. You're saying that if someone has like a type 2 diabetes with exercise or blood pressure, it is proven that they can reverse that through simply exercising and changing their diet.
Yes, and I had a lot of clients as well that had even blood pressure and problem with their tension and all of those things, and that after a month and a half of proper food and proper training, their blood pressure started to lower, and even their diabetes, they never been so low in their diabetes. So I've worked in the past with clients like so, and I've it's not only proven by science. I've seen it with my own eyes with my own client that their diabetes start to drop, their blood sugar as well. There is no insulin spike, and as well for their blood pressure. So
That's
yes, it's working.
That's interesting because here a lot of people do say, and I've heard this a lot from people in the various communities here, they do say when they visit the GP, the general practitioner, their family doctor, they often, with things like diabetes or blood pressure and these types of ailments, the let's call, I don't know, the day-to-day ailments, they do tend to get them to move more, do exercise, and just do small changes to their diet and stuff like that. And that's it seems like such an easy answer as opposed to putting someone on medication. And
To make clear about that, because I realized that now those days in 2020, a lot of people don't realize our body. Our body is a 24/7 machine that has one job: keep us alive and take care of us. So literally, a lot of people believe that we heal because of medicine. We don't. Medicine is just here to help us to heal. Our body is healing by itself. So about that, it will be the same thing. A lot of people will tend to think that, okay, no, I have diabetes or I have this is a final condition, this is how I'm gonna die. No, it is a choice to stay in that position. You can do something about it, or you decide to not to, but you have the power within your hand. Your body is capable of healing from a lot of things if you give him the right environment to heal. So it's the same concept as the flower. If the flower is not growing, you're not changing the flower. You change the environment to help the flower grow. Our body is working exactly the same way.
Excellent. And then a lot of people, once they get to a particular age, and I'm talking even in like as soon as you hit that 30 something, it's always, all these aches and pains, and then we almost accept it as that's part of the aging process. And then you start getting the children in the household to run around and do all the difficult tasks. I say difficult tasks like bend over and get me whatever that's fallen under the bed because my back hurts. And a lot of people say, I feel like, and they get to old age and they say, my mind is young but my body is failing me. And that's interesting you said about you keep the body young and your mind young at
So
the same time.
exactly. So there is a famous saying that says, "You don't grow old. You don't stop playing because you grow old. You
Mm-hmm.
grow old because you stop playing."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a famous saying, and I would like to use it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a myth. I had a lot of videos of people that are 80, 70 that are still flexible, still on the bar doing pull-ups, and still doing even some of them are doing calisthenics. I mean, can you imagine? Some of them are doing things I can't even do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you imagine? And a lot of people will just blame it on genes. They will say, "Oh, but hey, look at that guy. He's Eastern. He's this. He's Asian. He's." They will always blame it on genes and say he was lucky or anything. No, it is not about genes. Like, science have proved that if you put an Asian kid from a very flexible family or lineage, and they just stay sitting and playing video games, they are not going to end up being flexible. It
Mm-hmm.
is what you expose your body to. So if you every day you have a routine, you probably and you keep doing it, you probably will be able to do it when
Mm-hmm.
you grow old. Now,
Mm-hmm.
only the problem is now those days a lot of people have been stuck in one routine. So
Mm-hmm.
they're good in one routine, but when they go out of that routine, they end up being feeling tired, uncomfortable, and all of those things. So that's why when I work with my clients, I like to work on everything, mostly the mobility part. I've seen people that are older than me that moves better than me. So being old doesn't mean that you're going to have knee pain or back pain. It is what you do with your body that will tell you if you're going to have knee pain or back pain,
Mm-hmm.
not how old are you.
Okay. Fine. So then I guess my next question, Mo, is if you're not someone who's ever, been in that environment where you move and you're active in sports and do
Mhm.
physical activities directly related to sports, how do you motivate them to start now, especially
Honestly,
if they're not young?
the first step is always the hardest, and I'll be honest with that. It's even for us sometimes trainers, it's really hard to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is no, I would say there is no secret way or like special way. I just tell them to usually don't take it seriously. That's the thing. I mean,
As in, take it lightly. Don't stress over it. Don't focus too
yeah,
much.
don't stress over it. I mean, of course, at the end, people would like to take it seriously in a way. Hey, I'm gonna take it seriously. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna make your life change and all of those things. But it's not a sprint. It's a marathon, you know, and you have to run at your pace. And everyone has a different pace. So the thing is, first I would switch the perspective. It's all about understanding. Before when we were kids, we used to run. I mean, we used to run after each other. We used to climb. We used to jump. We used to we used to hide under the bed. We used to crawl. We used to do a lot of things with our body. We didn't even care. I mean, give a kid a ball and he would keep playing and sweating. He doesn't care about the heat or anything. But because why? Because we were just having fun. So try to have fun, and by having fun, don't take it too much seriously, but try to have fun and get moving. And then bit by bit is just gonna get better. And then it's all about consistency and doing a bit more and a bit more. I mean, it doesn't have to be that serious. Take a ball, go play football, go play with your kids, then go run, do something. You know, like it doesn't have to be one thing. I'm gonna stick to one thing, and you're gonna be serious and all of those things. Have fun. We're all about playing.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is, and that's what I find personally when I do sports is as soon as it's not fun anymore, it becomes a chore. And when it's fun, the time flies by. And the
Exactly.
body, as you said earlier, is a machine that rebuilds itself. So you start and you find something difficult, maybe running. First 10 minutes, maybe when you first start, it's hell. And then the next 10 minutes, it feels easier, and you can do longer. The body just it's really such a fascinating machine, how it overcomes challenges.
You have to understand. Okay, our body is made to be expert in survival. I mean, look at the planet. We are overpopulated. You know, mankind is one of the strongest species on the planet. We survived through ages and ages, despite all the wars and all those things. So we're capable of doing so much. I mean, our body is technically designed to run from a tiger or a bear or escape for life or fight war. But now those days, we don't have those type of things. We don't have the fight for life. So what's happening? We just stay around, eat, and this is why we get less and less active. So our body is meant to be moving all the time, not just a bit. We creatures of motion, and
Mhm.
any doctor will tell you that
Okay.
it's important for us to move.
Okay, so then, Mo, do you have any quick tips, for example? So if I want to make a quick change tomorrow or start, yeah, do you have any quick tips, small, manageable ways and changes, for example, to diet and exercise? Because a lot of people when they think of exercise, they think, oh, you've got to go to the gym and start lifting these weights and do, run. What does that look like in small different ways? How can you be active and make the changes to your lifestyle and diet and nutrition in your
So
everyday life? Sorry.
this is often what I recommend. So let's talk about the diet first. Small changes. I would say prioritize your food. Uh, so let's talk about food. It's protein, carbs, and vegetables, right? And which is all fat. Okay. So I'm gonna get my protein first, which is my most important thing to get. Then, if I'm not active, I'm gonna eat as much vegetables as I can, and then if I have space for my stomach, I'm gonna go for the carbs. As I remember, I'm not active if I'm not active. If I'm active after my training session, I'm looking to get those carbs first. So the priority change. You know,
Mhm.
it's good to understand how our body works, because if you eat the wrong way, it cannot be beneficial for the digestion of our body.
Mhm.
So this is for the order and the prioritization. Now, if I'm going to talk about nutrition-wise as what to eat, I believe that what I recommend to all of my clients is eat more vegetables. Eat a lot of it. Vegetables is king. That's the first. Second, sometimes replacing carbs with quick options or quick solutions such as couscous is low in calories, is lower than rice, for example.
We eat a lot of bread, for example, in Sudan. Everything.
Bread,
Bread
switching,
substitutes almost like a cutlery.
yeah, switching bread with whole wheat bread would be nice, uh, or switching the rice with quinoa. Like all those switch, like those small changes. But at the end of the day, changing will just like help, if you know what I mean. At the end of the day, is really reducing the quantity or understanding that we don't need actual carbs if we're not exercising or if we're not moving. So you have to earn carbs. So
Okay.
if you want to eat, like a lot of people will tell you, if you want to eat a lot, actually train a lot. Like there are people that just train to be able to eat a lot, not just to look good or anything.
That was actually the next question. Can you make changes, physical changes to your body by changing your nutrition alone? And I think we have to move away from the word diet because we've realized they actually do not work.
Uh, I don't believe in a diet. I believe into understanding how our body works and what type of food we need our body. I mean, imagine if I tell you, okay, do you prefer to be able to take care of your car and don't pay anyone, or do you prefer to pay someone a lot of money and don't know what you're doing if you're driving your car correctly or you're breaking it down?
Mm-hmm.
No, so your body is your car. For your question, your next question about can you do something without a diet, even though the diet is about 70 to 80% of the work, I will be honest with you, I still recommend active life as the whole impact that being active has into our the health to keep us going into our strength, bone, diabetes, overall well-being, you cannot deny it. Even if your goal is just to be skinny or lose weight, do it only with a diet. You're just removing a huge part of your health. And just being skinny or being looking good without having the health is just a cover, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really worth it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion in that.
Okay. So then I guess one question that I have in mind for someone who grew up in Europe mostly, um, why do I never kind of like I guess I want us to explore why is it that Western or developed societies place such great focus as a nation as a whole on being active and moving, and they have a lot of their the Western and governments from developed countries place a lot of focus on getting and encouraging the nation moving. Why do they do that?
Well, it's really understandable if you think about it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, science has all the tool to back up whatever we just said about how good is for your health and all of those things. So think about it. You have a country that is like people of their country that are more active.
Mm-hmm.
They're more healthy. Healthy means that they will be more productive. Being more productive means they will be more successful.
Mm-hmm.
So and even just healthy means that they will reduce the medical costs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they understood how big and important being active was.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was backed up with all the science, they implemented it into their system. They made sure that nobody can skip it, even if you like it or you don't like it, because it is better, it is more important than if you like it or you don't like it. It's
So
just like, yes?
yeah. So it's what you're saying to me. It's they realize it's about almost like unlocking that individual performance and potential,
Yes.
and converting everybody to maximize their output as opposed to their output. So the idea of everybody becomes moving from being a consumer to being someone who inputs, yeah,
Yes.
produces, yes. And then the other thing, so what you're saying, which is interesting, is the impact not only on if you're more successful as an individual, you're able to contribute more to an economy of a country, but also the overall health budget. for that country starts to come down when there is a healthy nation.
Like we've seen it a lot, and even in US, you will often hear those huge documentary try to convince people to eat healthy, to be active more, because if they could just remove the amount of money that they spend on treatment for diabetes or all of those problem that brings not being active, well, they will save up millions and millions. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's normal, it's understandable. So think about it. You how to like imagine the country is like it's like a mini company. How are you going to make this country more productive? Well, by making each one individual more productive. And how you're going to make them? Well, by making them healthy, and by empower them with like inspiration, making them believe in themselves and all of those things. So
Yeah.
it's important, yes. And that's why like a lot of countries now are putting a lot of money into that, and they're starting to rise more and more. I mean, look at Google.
Mm.
How much millions they spend into sports or even the well-being of the employees.
Mm. Mm. It's funny because I remember in one of my jobs when I first started my career, I would be walking from the tube station to my office, and there was a company, and it so happened to be an American company, where some of the team would be out on the main street doing jogging tracks in the morning, which is was interesting.
I mean, okay, first, it looks very interesting. It's funny. You look at it and all of those things. But I believe that we should be more out there, exposing ourselves to all of those things. It shouldn't be that strange or be like, oh, wow. It should be something normal.
Mm.
Us out there, I mean, if you look at kids, they always want to be outside playing. They
Mm.
don't want to remain inside. So it's a bit the same. We're just grown up kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is to understand that even a company understood that they will spend less money into the medical care of every one of their employee if they took care of their mental health and their well-being. Well, it's a huge impact for the company.
Mm.
Think about it.
Yes. So then, the next topic, as I said, this is a series of long conversations and many conversations. But in this session, I want us to finish off by talking about children. So I remember I spent very few years in Sudan, and it's part of my school curriculum. I don't remember sports having such a huge impact. We didn't have really physical education classes, not so much. But then I went to Italy, and that completely changed. So very quickly, I realized part of our curriculum, it's all about keeping children very active. So quickly, I was thrown into athletics and all of these different sports. I was in the volleyball school team. We played rounders. I was even the goalkeeper for the football team, the female football team, basketball. So every day, literally 5 days a week, and then sometimes at the weekends where we have open sports days, swimming, tennis. All of a sudden, it was the norm for me as a child to be involved in these activities and start
Mhm.
learning the different skills. So I guess my question is, why again the focus on, and you touched on it slightly earlier, but what is the importance of matching education with sports in school?
Well, earlier I talked about how the brain can develop so many neural connections just by being active. So imagine at such an early age when your brain is actually developing. So that's why it's really important. That's why they started to understand that how sports can have a huge impact into the brain development. So building a lot of neural connection with your brain while you're young by doing sports will help you to learn much faster things as well when you grow old, and you will be able to get some skills, understanding. So it's important not just for sports, but even if you want to learn a new language, a new skills, a new anything.
Mhm.
So that's the first part that I want to talk about, the brain part of the kids. The second thing, I will tell you how big of an impact it is, because I've in my past I've worked with an international school where they were taking me they were giving me actually the conditioned kids, and in my personal research of my past work where I did that, was I had some kids that were exposed to an unhealthy environment, and by the age of 12 they could not reach their toes. So of course now you're going to tell me, oh wow, and you're just going to stop here. Now me as a therapist, I will tell you, I will do the aftermath. If by the age of 12 he's not being able to touch his toes, something that he should be experiencing in his 40s, then it means that by the age of 25 he will feel in his body like he is 56.
Mm-hmm.
So to realize the impact that it has over your health, you might look young in your body, but on the inside, your body is not young, and that is the problem of now how like society that didn't take care attention, didn't pay too much attention in that, have so much of back pain, knee pain, curved back, weaknesses. I mean, in now those days, we've never been so much injured in our entire life, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, think about it. So it's understandable that if you do that at such a early age and you keep them active, but you make them understanding that, hey, sports is as important as math. You
Mm-hmm.
know, to talk about it, you're talking about Italy. In US, you can get a scholarship if you're strong in a sports division to a very high, like to a very important university. That's how important they made it, you know. So I believe that all of those aspects that we just talked and covered, if you remove them or if you implement them at such an early age, it can be either so beneficial if you implement them at such an early age, such as US or Italy, or it can be, if you remove them, it can be chaotic for the body. I mean, you can end up with people that are by the age of 25, like I said, they would feel like they're 45 or 50.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody would want to go out there and work if they feel like they're 50 in their body,
And,
right?
and I suppose we play a lot with each other as kids, you know, in the neighborhood or in our households with the kids. But I guess in school, it really encapsulates it and really starts to develop your strategic thinking, like you said
Yes,
earlier,
sure.
analytical skills,
Of-
leadership,
I mean,
strategy, team building, on
sure.
a on a more focused level, I suppose, more structured way.
And I would say on a more structured, focus level and under stress, because you have to remember in every sport you have the stress of winning and losing, and during that time when you live the moment, it is like it is on. It is like a life and game decision. You don't want to lose. You know, you're taking this like it's the game of your life. So I believe that for you when you're a kid, it yes, as I said, it teaches you a lot of things, a lot more than just sports and moving around, like personal things. You have to remember, as a kid, we don't usually believe in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We usually really trying to discover ourselves. So the more you push kids to go expose themselves, go out there, train, run, take actions, take the initiative to do something, to
Mm.
try something, to go and get it, that will make them even more later on when they will grow up having still the skills of getting out there and do it and take
Yeah.
the risk, because sports is sometimes about risks.
So you then make them natural problem solvers, that ability to be go-getters, be innovative, be creative, risk takers. That all unlocks the potential to be coming up with
Sure.
interesting business concepts, ideas. And I think the problem solving is key, because sports is all about little problems you're trying to solve all the time, and that's the essence of being successful in
And
life and building that overall confidence, your communication.
you
It's
have to. We
become
have
you
one
become
that
a well-rounded individual.
there is one that we forgot as well: creativity.
Mm,
Sports forces you to bring the creativity out of you,
mm,
and world without creativity will just be old. old,
Yes.
you will have, there will be no new ideas, nothing.
Yes.
So sport forces you to be creative in the moment.
Hmm. So the very last thing, Mo, and I hope I'm not going to put you on the spot here. So
No.
I want to share with you a little something that we've been behind the scene trying to develop. So we want in anaSudan to launch a little bit of an ambitious, at the moment I would say an ambitious campaign. And it's about getting our beloved Sudan moving as a nation. So it's all about living better, be active, and being healthy. So, how do you feel about joining us in this journey that is new to us and exciting to help support us and guide us through it with all your expertise and all your insight?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the proposition. Well, you know me. It's my like I love to share my passion. I love to try to reach out of people and try to get the best out of it and the best out of their life. So my goal in life is to change and empower people to make them believe they are able to do like amazing things. We have the potential, mankind have the potential to really do crazy things and rise and shine. So if you give me the chance to do that with Sudanese, I would love to do it. I would love
Oh,
to
fabulous.
share my passion with their people.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mo. This has actually been so enjoyable. Makes me feel like sports is not actually that scary thing that, that there are various ways and there is more interesting things to explore and find out. And I think we are going to have you with us more regularly to talk to us more. It's a massive field that's been in development for decades and decades and decades. So I'm sure there is tons for us to learn from you. So thank you very much for your time today, and we look forward to the next time.
Me too.
Thank
All
you.
right.